you doing today? I'm Linda, and this is Lilybugs Library, and coming to you today with some Friday reads, just a couple. But before we get started, I have to tell you my story. I don't know about anybody else, but do you ever have those moments where you just kind of roll your eyes at yourself and what you've done? I have these two hexagon boxes that sit on my wall, and I usually put little fairy houses or something in them and change them for the seasons. So I got it in my head that they needed a different background. They came from, I think, Michael's, and they had little blue and white polka dot paper, which was very nice, but I decided they needed bee paper. So I tried cutting the bee paper. I couldn't quite get it to look the way I thought it looked. But I had some that had lemons, and I thought, okay, well, that's still bright and cheery. So I managed to get the lemon paper more or less right. And I put the lemon paper in, and then realized that, like, oh, it didn't quite go to the very edge. You could still see the blue underneath a little bit. I'll just paint that yellow, and then nobody will notice. So this is where it gets worse and worse. So I painted it yellow, but then a little bit got on the edge, and I thought, oh, you know what? It would probably look good if it was just all yellow. So I started to paint, and then looked down after a few minutes and realized that I hadn't put on an apron or anything, and I had a new shirt on, which now had yellow paint on it. So I had to put that shirt into the wash, and it just, yeah, on and on we go. So for all my ADD friends out there, I sympathize, because sometimes I wonder about myself, because it's just, I feel like that Give a Mouse a Muffin book. It's just one little thing after another. So anyway, here we are. So things are drying. If you're interested in seeing a picture when I'm hopefully finish this disaster, let me know in the comments below. I'd be happy to show you. But I think it's gonna take a while. So I read two books this week. Neither one were 5-star reads, but that's okay. They were both a good, solid 3-star read. I have been craving my cozies because I've been reading a lot of other things. So the only thing I managed to finish this week was two of those. So the first one was Arsenic and Adobo, and that's the first in the Tita Rosie's Kitchen Mysteries. And it was good. It was about Lila, or I guess her family calls her Lila, and she came back home to try and help her aunts to take care of this restaurant that they have. The restaurant was failing, and she came home to help them with that. So when she moves back, her ex-boyfriend that she had, he was a restaurant reviewer, and he just kept giving their restaurant these horrible reviews. And then turns out other restaurants were given horrible reviews, and then he ends up dead. And she is, because he was in her restaurant at the time, she is looking like the most likely suspect. So it goes from there, with her trying to figure out what happened with the help of her aunts and her friends of the family, and it's quite a mystery to unravel. So it was really good. It was something that a little different, and just having like the whole family with these nosy aunts who were kind of involved with everything, and then her trying to keep the restaurant going, and I enjoyed it. So yeah, a solid 3 stars on that one. And then the other one, I was listening to Tiffany from the Beach Bum Bookworm talking about the series that she was supposed to start for 2025 and how far she'd gotten. And she's not doing too bad, but I looked at my own list and went, oh, I think we need to work on that. So I did start one of those. It was called, it is the first of the street food cozies, and it's called Hostel Takeover. I can't really say that right. Hostel Takeover for tacos. So it's about Billy Halifax, and she goes to Sea Glass Island, Florida, which is where her grandmother lived. And her grandmother really set her up for success. She gave her a fleet of food trucks and had the first one all decked out and ready to go. And then Billy has to hire people to run these food trucks from this certain culinary school. And even had her decked out with like her own little tiny home, and I mean it was great. So Billy gets started on that, but one of the students that's looking to become part of this whole venture ends up dead. So they end up having to figure out what happened to that person and how it affects everything with these, her whole idea of going forward. So that one was really good too. Um, it's hard sometimes with the first in a series because it really needs to catch your attention for you to keep going in the series, and this one did. I was happy about it. I was excited. The main character also has a few little quirks, which I kind of like. Makes her a little more human. So you'll see that just in the first chapter of the book. So really looking forward to getting to do that one a little more. So those were the two that I read. Not much reading this past week. This week's looking a little better. Things have kind of settled down again, thankfully. And so I'm working on, I don't know, a bunch of books. The main one that's captured my attention over the last day or so, I had watched a lady talk about it on a YouTube video. I didn't even know it existed. And I apologize, I don't remember the channel or her name. But the book is called Marilla of Green Gables. So if you're a Green Gables fan, stay tuned because I should be finished it fairly soon, and that could very well be a 5-star read. We'll see. So I hope you have a great day. Like I said, this is just kind of a quick wrap up of the week. And I think my paint is probably dried, and I'm going to put on an apron and go back to what I was doing and see if I can make these so they're not a hot mess. We'll see. All right. I hope you have a great day, friends. Bye-bye.